That's not true. I'm not even kidding you. I started crying. Be spilling the sorority tea. Hi, my name is Gracie. I'm a freshman at the University of Alabama, and if you're returning, hi, welcome back. If you are new here, make sure you subscribe down below and join the family. You don't want to miss another video. Also, if you're new here, you would understand my comments are disabled right now. I got swept into the algorithm with YouTube and this whole minors policy thing. I'm not a minor. Nobody in my videos is a minor, but here we are. I asked on Instagram, gosh, a couple weeks ago now, for you guys to send in all the questions you have about rushing at Alabama. Just a disclaimer, this is not, first of all, this is not my rush tips video. That is still going to be coming out. And this is my personal experience at the University of Alabama. I'm trying not to be biased on my own sorority. I am a Pi Beta Phi here. But I just want to give you guys like the lowdown, like how everything really is and real honest answers that you guys want to hear about. So I got over like 1,000 questions. 1,000 questions, guys. Y'all had a lot of questions. So I'm gonna try and answer, of course, the most asked ones, but also anything that's unique or different that you haven't seen. So stick around if you want to hear all the tea. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with a very, very general and very scary question that apparently a lot of you want to know. Is it possible that I won't get a bid? Yes? Okay, that sounds terrible to say. Here's the thing. They said all during recruitment and all during rush here at Alabama, if you every single day maximize your options, you pretty much are guaranteed a bid. What that means is you go to every party, every house, you're respectful, all those kinds of things. For example, if you get a house on your card and you're like, I am not going to this house, I try to drop them. If you skip that party and you don't go to that house, you're not maximizing your options. Yeah, it might stink to sit there for like 40 minutes and talk to girls, but you never know. First of all, you could change your mind, but second of all, it's just out of respect that that sorority wants you and they want to get to know you better. Go to all your houses and to all your parties and you will be fine. I promise you, you will end up with a house. Will it be your number one house? Maybe not, but you know what? I believe everything happens for a reason. You might not, but I think that you will find that that's where you're meant to be, because truly you find where you're meant to be. As much as you think you want to be in a sorority, and if you get dropped by them, I promise, just trust the process. And that stinks to say, and I hated every single video that I watched that people said trust the process, but it is true. Like, it's weird to think, it is true. I promise you. Don't go through the whole week stressing about being dropped by houses, because you won't actually get to enjoy rush week. And I think that's why some people hated rush week. I personally loved rush, but that's because I made the most of every second. I knew I wasn't worried of where I was going to end up, because truly you end up where you fit in and where you need to be. And as long as you keep telling yourself that, like, you might want a house so bad, and if they drop you, please don't cry over it. Please don't be upset, because why would you, first of all, want a house that doesn't want you back? But also, they know they're not just gonna not want you in there because your dress is green and they only like pink dresses, because sororities are not shallow. You know, they know that you might fit in somewhere better, and you just gotta tell yourself that. So don't worry, you will maximize your options and you will get a house and you will be so fine and you will be so happy. This question from Brittany says, is there heavy hazing? No. I promise you whatever you want me to like promise on, whatever. I was not hazed once, not even remotely. Never did I even think it was gonna happen. It didn't. I personally was not hazed. I cannot speak upon any other sorority or any other school. I know that the University of Alabama, we say these hands don't haze, we don't haze. Ashley wants to know, how do you keep your makeup looking good with the heat and everything? Okay, the biggest thing is that everybody carries around these mini handheld fans. I cannot promise you that your makeup is gonna stay on all the time, but guess what? The girls inside the houses are just as hot as you and understand, because they've gone through it before, where they realize like you're not gonna be looking your absolute 100% best, because you do have to like walk across sorority row. But one of those little handheld fans was like the best thing for me. And also bring extra batteries, because mine ran out. Luckily I had batteries back in my room, but those fans, because they at least keep you dry. Caitlin wants to know chances with a GPA below 3.0. So the big thing with sororities is your GPA actually does matter. Like the whole stigma about sorority girls not being smart, that's like actually not a thing. So on the website for Alabama, it will list the houses and what their GPAs are, and some of them are 3.0, some of them are 3.4, and it'll tell you how you can maximize your options based off of your GPA and how many houses you're likely to get back based off your GPA. So if you're still in high school and work hard, because all of my options were personally maximized. I worked really hard in high school. I had a high GPA, so I wasn't in danger of only getting back a certain amount of houses. Again, if you don't have a good GPA, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get a bid from a house. Don't take it that way. It's just, according to the website, there's a less likely chance you'll get as many houses back. And if I have a little picture of it, I'll put it right here, sort of what the breakdown was between houses and GPA. So many girls want to know what to wear. Any tips on outfits, tips on picking outfits, what do you wear? Guys, be yourself. Now there is a guide for the University of Alabama. There's this thing called a Greek Chic, and I'm sure if you go to any other school, there's probably something like it where I'll tell you the types of things to wear. But I wore Lily Pulitzer, like bright and printed and colorful, but I also wore like a dark green dress one day, and all of those were acceptable. So as long as you follow the guidelines, where if it's like sundress, wear whatever you want. I loved that because I found that I personally wasn't wearing the same thing as anybody else, because I think that my style's not unique because it's Lily Pulitzer, which I mean that is unique, but it's a brand, people know what it is. But so many girls had different boutique brands and all kinds of things. Wear what you're comfortable in, wear what makes you confident and happy, but do follow the guidelines. Don't be walking around in a crop top and short shorts when everybody else is gonna be wearing a sundress and sandals. So definitely stick to that. One tip that I do know is for pref round, which is the last round. A lot of YouTubers say wear a white dress. I don't know where that came from, but I personally wore a pink dress. I mean, you can wear whatever color or whatever print or whatever you want, but it tends to be that a lot of the actives or the girls rushing you in the houses wear white. And it's not for every house, but I know personally for Pi Phi, all the girls were in white dresses. So I felt like some of the girls wearing white dresses, they didn't stand out as much. Does that make sense? So you don't have to wear a white dress for prep, is all I'm saying. If you would like to, one of my really good friends had the most beautiful white dress on for prep and still got amazing, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, your clothing does not affect where you end up. I hope you know that. Please do not stress about your outfits that much. As long as you stick to the guidelines and you're wearing the types of things they tell you to wear, you will be totally fine. You'll be totally fine. Don't let other girls in those rush group meetings or the rush Snapchats freak you out, because it is a scary thing going into it, but you should be confident and comfortable because you can be. I love this question from Ashley. She said, how to be true to yourself during the process and truly open up. This was a big thing for me, is being yourself and feeling like you can be yourself around the other girls. If you're faking it to try and fit in, or you're like, I love these girls, but definitely not my sorority, don't worry. They understand that not every single girl that walks through their house wants to be in their sorority or fits in well with their sorority, because it is about where you fit in. But you just gotta be open and honest and tell the truth and be yourself, because if you fake it till you make it and then you end up in this house and yeah, you're in a whatever, you're in the house you wanted, you may not necessarily fit in there, and then what, are you gonna fake it for 4 years and then in your alumni clubs and all kinds of other stuff? No, be yourself. And just what you gotta tell yourself going in is, I'm gonna be me, and I'm gonna get a house that loves me for me and not who I'm pretending to be. Rush is a mutual process. The house picks you and you pick the house, and if one doesn't pick you, like if the house doesn't pick you, you don't get it. If you don't pick the house, they don't get you back. So it's totally mutual, and you want to, for both sides to want to be there. Madeline wants to know if there are payment plans for sororities. It depends on the sorority. Pi Phi personally, yes, we do have a payment plan that you can ask to be enrolled in, but you'll just have to ask that. Usually during philanthropy round, they'll talk about all of the money stuff, or at least philanthropy at Alabama they did. They'll talk about your dues and if they have payment plans and all that kind of stuff. So it's definitely something you're gonna wanna ask when you get in the house. Somebody asked, what is chapter? That's basically like your weekly meetings. You catch up on things that are going on in your sorority, if there are events coming up, or anything like that, you go to chapter and you're just basically caught up with the rest of your sorority. If you can carry around a bag with snacks, water, etc. Yes, 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 you can. Every single girl pretty much had a Longchamp bag, including myself. I had a black Longchamp, but I put a little puffball, like bright pink keychain on mine so I'd be able to find it. Everybody brings a bag. You bring a fan, if you want any snacks, water, mints. I lived off the chewy mints. Lived off those things just because like it's hot outside, and a little bit of perfume. Bring a couple of essential things. They'll let you sort of know at Convocation and things like that. But definitely bring a bag. Everybody drops their bag on the side of the sorority house when they go in. You come back out, grab your bag, and head to the next house. Madison also wants to know, what do you wear to Convocation? Whatever you want. It's comfy, it's casual. I think I wore a t-shirt and running shorts and sneakers. He wants to know if it's intimidating going through rush at a big school like Alabama. A little bit. There were over 2,000 girls that rushed, and it was a little scary, and it was very hectic on sorority row. Yes, to answer your question, yes, it was intimidating, but after I got over it, you're fine, you're good. Erin wants to know, how long do you have to get to know each house? So, and I'll probably explain this a little better, and I think I've maybe already explained it before, but there's different rounds. So open house round is the first 2 days, 20 minutes in each house. Then you go to philanthropy round, which is also 2 days, and those are 30 minutes at each house. Then you have sisterhood round, which is 1 day, 40 minutes, and then you have preference, which is 1 day and 50 minutes. And you get to know the houses for as long as you keep the house after each round and they keep you, the more you get to know them. You have to drop houses after the first round anyway, so then that's when you stop getting to know them, because you're not going to return back to their house for the rest of the week. Olivia wants to know the cost of being in a sorority. Gosh, it ranges. It depends on what school you go to. I have friends at a school, it costs them $500 for the entire year, and here in Alabama it can be up to like $8,000 for the entire year. So there's a huge range, and it just depends on where you go to school, but they'll definitely have it linked on a website, or they'll tell you about it during rush. I know for Alabama, I'm pretty positive each sorority has their dues or somewhere listed on the Alabama Panhellenic website. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure I saw that last year because I was curious, and like and each house varies and is different. A lot of people wonder how important rec letters are. So speaking from a completely general standpoint, because personally I'm not positive on how it all works with Pi Phi or any other house here, but just from my own personal experience, I came in pretty much being the first Greek person in my family. I wanted to get a rec letter from every sorority if I could, because to me it felt like, hey, if they see a girl who's already in this sorority like recommending me for them, maybe they'll look at me a little bit differently. I think it definitely helps to have recommendation letters, and it's not super hard to get them. Even if nobody in your family is Greek like mine, I posted it on my Facebook, my mom shared it on her Facebook, and a bunch of her friends had been in Greek life in their college life, so I got all kinds of things from that. And then there were definitely some I was missing, and so I just asked around with people, friends, reached out to alumni groups. It's not super hard, especially because I thought it was really worth it for each sorority to see something. I know that my recommendation letter for a specific sorority, and one of my mom's friends, was like, I'm not even kidding you, I started crying reading it because it was one of the nicest things I've ever read about myself. And it's just nice to know that girls in that house got to see me in that light, as well as meet me in person and with my resume. So I would recommend you to get recommendation letters. It's just like a cherry on top, honestly. If you can't get them all, don't worry about it, but definitely try to get rec letters. With recommendations, Hannah asked, do we send in our recommendations as we get them or send them all at once? Send them in as you get them, because they're all going to different houses. So if you get Pi Phi before you get Zeta, send in your Pi Phi one, send in your Zeta one when it comes, send in your Alpha Chi. Just make sure you get it in by the dates. Hi, it's me from the future. Quick pop-in about these rec letters. People might not explain this. Maybe if you guys want a rec letter video, give this a thumbs up and DM me on Instagram or something if you want like a further in-depth video on rec letters. But somebody asked like what to send to somebody in. who's writing your rec letter, I provided my resume and a headshot slash like one of my senior photos into the person, and also make sure you thank them for writing the rec letter even after they've done it, and let them know what sorority you end up going afterward. It's fun. This from Mary. She said, what is your advice when it comes to loving a sorority that isn't a popular one? First, I'm gonna get on my soapbox just for a quick second. Do not go on Greek rank. Please. I went on Greek rank. I did it. I looked at what people ranked sororities and the tiers and all kinds of stuff. You don't know what Greek rank is? Please, like, disregard this message. Don't even go look, because people go on there to put down other sororities all the time, and that stinks. Like, you can see great things about your sorority and you can see terrible things about your sorority, and they can be like, well, this house is #1 and this house is #2, and that's not true. Do not walk around sorority row and go, oh, bad house, good house. That's not how people see it here, because there are so many different people in each house. You cannot categorize them as #1, #2, #3. They have the hottest girls. Wrong. Like, it's really unfortunate that people do that, and I don't believe in the ranking system. And there was one time where I went on Greek rank and I was like, this is so false. Like, somebody's trying to say that this sorority is better than all these, but yet we are all equal. We are all Greek women. We are all supporting each other. That is how it should work. So first of all, please don't go do that. Okay, off my soapbox. You have to realize that people are humans. Okay, so if a house is a less popular house, there's still people too, and they still have great personalities and great life stories, people you get to know. So just be yourself and go in. Even if you don't want to go and be in that house, you have to be respectful, because there are some houses during Rush that really surprised me, because listen, I ruined it for myself when I went on Greek rank, and turns out I loved a lot of the houses people were not saying very nice things about, and I was like, why on earth would they say that? But it's just, you know, people being salty or like whatever they're doing. It's not true. Please just like don't do that to yourself, because every single house, I can speak for Alabama, there is not one house down the row, or you know, however you want to say it, because there's a lot of like down the rows, you know, in the sorority section of campus, that isn't a great house or a wonderful house to be a part of. And that's just where it is. Like, it doesn't matter what people say or what people think about your sorority. If you love your sorority, who cares what anybody else says or thinks? Because people are just being mean, and it's unfortunate that that's how it is sometimes. Avery, such a good question. Any tips for a legacy / going into Rush with an open mind? Of course, like I said, I wasn't a legacy, but I understand, especially having friends who were legacies, how much stress maybe your mom or your grandma or people put on you to go that house. But like I said, every house at every school is completely different. So your mom could have been in a sorority somewhere else and you feel like you don't fit in with that same sorority at your school. Don't do it just because you're a legacy. Go, it sounds dumb, but like go where your heart says. Go where you feel like you fit in. Keep an open mind and just realize that at the end of the day, your mom's not gonna hate you because you didn't go her sorority. So I'm just gonna answer one more question for you guys. A lot of them are repeats now that I'm going through them, which is like a really good thing, but somebody wants to know how you can make yourself stand out and be remembered. That's like a pretty big question. And for me personally, and I've said this throughout this entire video, is just to be yourself. You know that like stupid quote, which I'll put here, that's usually on Pinterest. It's like, why be someone else? You were born to stand out. I don't know what it exactly is, that's why I'm putting it right there. Or why fit in when you were born to stand out? Or there's only one of you. Those types of things. That's so true. You will meet people very like-minded with you during Rush and very nice and all those types of things. Girls just want to get to know you and they want to know if you can fit in your sorority. So you just gotta be yourself. Again, like I said, for me, standing out, I was wearing really bright colors all the time, but that's me. A lot of people weren't doing that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a big thumbs up, especially if you want me to do like a recommendation letter video or whatever. You can always DM me on Instagram. I tend to look at a lot of them, but with the way how my Instagram DMs work, I can't ever really answer them. But if you have video requests or anything, especially because the comments are disabled, make sure you do that. I will link my Instagram here and obviously down below as well. It's really, really sad that my freshman year is ending. You can kind of see in the background, like, things are gone. Like, I am in the process of moving out of here, which just blows my mind. But anyway, make sure you do give that video a thumbs up and subscribe down below, and I will see you guys so soon. Bye!